Hey there, it's Chris Acton with Acting Creative, and this, well, it's not exactly an episode of A Handwoven Experience. This is behind the scenes. And this came about because, well, I got hung up on this week's topic, but we'll come back to that later. So what I thought I would do is just share some little nuggets about what goes into making a handwoven experience every week for you. So why don't we start at the beginning, huh? So for a very long time, I was weaving for retail. I did markets and art fairs and an inventory for stores, all of that kind of stuff. And that was all fine and good, but it wasn't really working for me. After having a wildly unsuccessful show, after a whole series of wildly unsuccessful shows, I thought, you know what, I am not making any money and I'm not having a good time, which is a very bad combo. You just know one or the other is fine, but both, no. So I thought, well, what do I really want to do with my weaving? And I just kept thinking, I just want to teach. That is where I want to go with this. I just want to teach. So I kind of puttered around and tried some stuff, and there's this amazing thing called the internet. And I thought, why not take advantage of that? I don't mind being in front of a camera. In fact, I kind of like it. And why not share my knowledge and resources with you through some kind of video? So February 2020, right before all of the pandemic mayhem started, I released the first episode, and you'll have to go back and watch it. It's the camera's turned wrong, and I had broken my wrist. My right wrist, which I'm right-handed, I had broken my wrist just a few weeks earlier, so I'm wearing a cast. Like, it was just, but I thought, okay, I'd rather do it imperfectly versus wait till I'm good and ready and all the stars are aligned, and yeah. So anyways, the very first episode, it's a little rocky. However, I did it, and I was like, okay, I can do this. I like it. So that's how A Handwoven Experience started. And I think for me, as I look back on how I've learned how to weave and the teachers that have taught me and kind of everything that's gone into making me where I am, I think for me, my main focus is always to take one small part of this big, huge weaving category and break it down and to make it as simple as possible, just really easy. Because one of the questions I always got asked when I was doing demonstrations at these art fairs and markets was, is it hard? And my response was typically, no, it's not hard. There's a lot of steps and moving parts, but it is not hard. So as I kept mulling over my answer, I thought, well, that is true. And how do I break down those steps and moving parts so that it seems much more accessible, so that folks can see all the little parts and go, well, I can put that together. That's no problem. That is always my goal with a handwoven experience, is to give you little nuggets that are easy enough that you go, I got this. I can do this. So handwoven experience was born, going on and on. And what I like to do is always pick like I said, one little thing. That's always my goal. I don't want to make it too big or too complicated or it's tiny. That's what I'm aiming for, because I know what my attention span is, and I know how I like to receive information. So I thought, well, that just seems natural that I present something that is in a real short format, just one item. Like, I always get a little nervous when the videos go longer than like 7-8 minutes because that seems long to me. So here's a little bit about what goes into making an episode of A Handwoven Experience. So you should know I'm a one-woman show at this point. That is not my goal. My goal is to expand into a team and have other people helping me at some point. So if you're interested, let me know. But for now, I am a one-woman show and I do all the things. So historically then, I will tape my episode on usually Monday morning to be released that Wednesday. So there's not a lot of lead time. And I have tried multiple times to get ahead and to tape multiple episodes at a time. That's just harder said than done. For instance, you'll notice that for the October Weave Along, I'm wearing the same shirt in all of the announcements for what your homework is for each week. I got smart. I was like, okay, I can do all of them at one time, I can record them all and we can go from there. So on occasion, I can pull that off. But it's tricky because I don't always have the loom set up for whatever the topic is, or there's all these kind of elements that go into the making of an episode. So more often than not, I'm recording it on a Monday morning. And even though I keep like this big file folder of ideas for what upcoming topics can be, there's still times that it doesn't all come together. For instance, this week, what prompted all of this? I had this idea for what I wanted to present, but it just wasn't coming together. For me, there's always like a click that I think, okay, yes, that's one solid idea that I can present cleanly and clearly. That's always my kind of gauge. And I would rather skip a week than I would have one that seems kind of wishy-washy. That's what I'm always trying to avoid, is a wishy-washy topic, because we don't need any of that. We don't have time for that, right? We are busy people. We need one solid concept ready to go. So that is always my goal when I'm putting together an idea for an episode for you. So this week, it just wasn't, I kept kicking it around for multiple days, and I'm like, it's not there. So thus, I thought I'd give you a little insight into how all that typically works. So on a good week, when that's all humming like it should, Monday morning, I record the video. Now, the video usually takes, for me, it takes anywhere between 15 minutes and an hour to record this, because there's always this like shuffling action that happens. I have to get this here and clear out the crap here and get the lighting and all of the things. So there's always time when it takes to like set the scene, if you will. And then, of course, I have to actually deliver the words. Now, if you are part of my Acting Creative Insiders, you know how often there are bloopers. And I love bloopers. Like anytime I watch a movie, I always have to watch to the end and see if there's any kind of hiccups or things where they crack themselves up, all that kind of stuff. So I always save the bloopers and I share that with my Acting Creative Insiders. But anywhere between 15 minutes and an hour is usually how long it takes me to record like a 6-minute video. From there, then there's always editing involved. And I use a platform called InShot, which is easy enough that someone like me can do it, because I am not that tech savvy. I understand just enough. Let's say it that way. I understand just enough. So edit the video, download it to YouTube. There's always the thumbnail, which is that's what it's called, that kind of opening picture. Kind of imagine like the cover of a book, like that kind of idea. But then each week, that video is connected to a blog post on the website, as well as an email that goes out to all of my lovely email community. And all of that, putting all those moving parts together, takes me anywhere between 3 and 4 hours every week. Now, I love it. I've gotten so I'm pretty efficient at certain parts of it. It's a lot of fun, but it is a little bit of production to get all of those things out every week. So what I wanted to kind of end with was kind of where I see A Handwoven Experience going in the future. First of all, I love the format that it is, and I would definitely like to see more and more episodes. Just keep it going. I love that. But I would also, at a certain point, like to bring in some guests. Wouldn't that be fun, right? To have maybe some interviews with some other weavers, or to bring in people that are experts at other things that I'm not, because Lord knows there's a lot of elements of weaving that I am just not an expert at, and probably won't be. So wouldn't it be cool to interview someone who was, or have them be a part of the whole Handwoven Experience video series? That's what I'm thinking. Give me your 2 cents in the comments and let me know if you like that idea, or if you'd like to volunteer. If you've got some stuff that you are like, I know about these things, let me know. Let's talk. I just think that would be so much fun, because while I know quite a few things over the years, I've picked up a few, there's a whole world out there, and because weaving is so vast and broad, wouldn't that be fun to bring in some other experts to clarify some ideas, talk about different tools, all of that good stuff. So let me know if that's something that you are interested in seeing or participating in. Either one. So there we go, my friends. This is your behind the scenes of A Handwoven Experience. I'll do this every so often. This was fun, right? I'll come back and we'll do this a little more often, just so you can see little nuggets of what happens kind of behind the scenes, what's happening on my side of the screen versus on yours, because I think that's helpful to see kind of all of the moving parts and pieces. And then you can, you know, if you feel like jumping in to help with anything, you're welcome to. All right, friends, let's wrap this up, huh? Yes, thank you for coming. Thank you for showing up week after week after week. This doesn't happen without you. So thank you for being such a loyal, wonderful community. You guys are really awesome. And let's keep it going, huh? To many, many, many more episodes of A Handwoven Experience. All right, I'll be around, and I'm sure I'll see you next week. In the meantime, happy weaving.